I'm Amelia Abreu at UX Night School. Welcome back to UX Design Research. So in the previous modules, we've talked about how to design a research project, how to interview participants, and how to approach the data that you collect. In this module, we're going to talk about two key topics, accessibility and usability. So in the last video, I made the case for understanding accessibility as a fundamental part of usability, not some other thing or fringe concern. But what does this mean, and what can you do? There's three things I'd suggest. Get familiar, work on reducing structural bias, a tall order I know, and don't other accessibility. I'll explain more. First, get familiar. Get familiar with web accessibility standards, such as the WCAG 2.0, and any other standards that are relevant to your domain of expertise and what you're building. Oftentimes, big brands will have key accessibility guidelines for developers. Another great resource in this regard is the Ally Project, which maintains a really awesome online community. It's important to note that accessibility often means consistency. And this means that if you are developing what we're now calling a design system, that it's inclusive by default. Next, this is something that's very fun for me, is reducing structural bias. A million tiny cracks, I say. How do you do this? Well, you can do this by recruiting, hiring, and networking. First and foremost, for any design research you do, recruit diverse participants and pay them. If you're working on an in-house project, this might not be possible, but make sure that you're compensating and thanking your participants, especially if they are from groups of different abilities or different cultures. You want to build relationships with them. So often I hear, we can't find diverse anything really, but diverse participants for our research projects. And my answer is hire them. You can hire someone you know, a local activist or a consulting firm, to help you and your employer really build relationships and gain credibility. Sponsor events, go to events. And when you do have folks in for studies, you can build relationships with them. It's completely ethical, and it's, I would argue, our responsibility. Find ways to help them and their community while helping you in your recruitment efforts. And get to know them. Because, as I would argue, the cheapest and most fun way to reduce structural bias at your job and to become a better designer, design researcher, whatever you call yourself in regards to accessibility, is to just regularly hang out with folks of different abilities and different cultures. So what do you like to do? If you like sports, volunteer for the Special Olympics. If you like dance, like I do, go check out an adaptive dance company. They're awesome. I also spend a lot of time hanging out in the park with my kid, and Portland, where we live, has a great adaptive playground, and it's really fun to hang out there and get to know folks of differing abilities and their families. But lastly, I'd urge you to not other accessibility. You can find ways to experience things differently every single day. Por ejemplo, I often run my operating system in Espanol so that I can A, get better at the language that is not my strongest, and B, understand what it's like to not be able to rely on language cues all the time, or just have lower reading comprehension than I currently do. Another really useful exercise is just thinking about how you adopt. As I mentioned, I have a hard time focusing, and so I really love the app Freedom, which shuts off the internet on my computer. Well, thanks for joining us, and next you can watch a video of inclusive usability testing in action from our PDX workshop. As always, please share with us at UX Night School via Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and tag what you're working on with UX Night School. You can also join us in our Slack channel and share your progress on your projects in the projects channel. Thanks.